I'm Lekshmi, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Philosophy, University of Kerala, Kariyvattam. So in this video, I'm trying to address the important question of the role of ethics in research or while doing research. Violation of intellectual property rights is perhaps the most significant part of research ethics, which mainly addresses the question of plagiarism. So plagiarism, we know, is presenting someone else's ideas as one's own with or without their consent by incorporating it into your work without proper acknowledgement. So plagiarism checkers scan for similarities between our text and the existing text. Plagiarism comes in many ways or in many forms. Direct plagiarism is there when a researcher is doing word by word copying without quotation marks or disguised paraphrasing or inaccurate citation, etc., etc. The researcher is doing direct plagiarism. There are also other ways of indirect plagiarism, which is more unethical, I believe. So there is auto-plagiarism. That is when an author reuses significant portions of one's own previous research without proper attribution. That is auto-plagiarism. Then paraphrasing plagiarism. That is using someone else's writing with minor changes. That is when a person is writing a thesis, he is trying to do paraphrasing. So while paraphrasing texts or articles or passages, the person is taking up ideas from another person or from the text for that matter, but making only some changes here and there, and then writing or claiming that as if whatever is written is one's own ideas or one's own genuine research. So there no proper referencing or citation is given. So that is paraphrasing plagiarism. Then mosaic plagiarism, that is patchwork plagiarism. It's plagiarism done in a very intelligent way. That is taking up ideas not from a single source but from many, many sources, patching up those different ideas in a very clever manner so that it may look like an original one. So that is patching up plagiarism or mosaic plagiarism. Then accidental plagiarism, that is unintentional paraphrasing. Maybe perhaps ignorance can be the cause for that matter. Interlingual plagiarism is yet another variety. That is, it can occur while doing translation from one language to another language. So here comes the very important question, which I think every researcher shall ask to himself. As if I fill my research thesis with a lot of citations and quotes, whether my problem can be solved. That is, most of the researchers believe that if I do a lot of citations and give proper quotes or fill my thesis with a lot of quotations, then I am doing a perfectly ethical research. Is it true? That's the important question. To be an ethical researcher, one has to go beyond the plagiarism checkers. Sometimes the plagiarism checkers may not or may fail to find out from what sources we have taken the ideas. But as a genuine researcher, our research shall be, especially in humanities subjects or art subjects, the findings and the discussions that we do while writing a thesis or a research paper shall be genuinely ours So we can take ideas from the different authors, we can take ideas from different passages, but the paraphrasing shall be done by us, or even the thesis can be written in a critical style. I mean, like debates where our own original ideas makes its way. Then the ethical quotes and the practices. While writing a thesis, there shall be proper logical coherence between the problem stated, hypothesis derived, and the conclusion arrived. For example, if I say all monkeys are animals, all donkeys are animals, the conclusion can be all monkeys are donkeys. But we know that there is some problem here. There is no proper logical coherence, or the researcher makes some sort of a logical inconsistency or a logical fallacy. So that should never happen while we write a research paper or a research thesis. There shall be a proper coherence, that is from the very introduction till the conclusion, through the body of the entire thesis or the text that we articulate or that we develop. There shall be proper logical coherence. So that's very important while we do write the thesis or write the research paper. So original and substantial contribution to the world of knowledge and society shall be done by, or that shall be ensured by every researcher. So ethical writing is in fact a heavy responsibility. In every decision that we make in research and writing, there ought to be ethics. So ethical writing, in fact, reveals authorial power and the experience to wield that power. But no doubt, power brings responsibility. So how to tell the story of our thesis is a big concern. So here, there is no question of any doubt, or there is no question of any confusion regarding how to write a thesis, because there is a craft or there is an art in writing a thesis. Here I would like to quote, there is a craft in writing a thesis, a golden thread, but you have to not let it get too far away and become a fairy tale. Your storytelling, you could end up writing a myth based on what you think, because you have got an idea in mind that you want to arrive at, not a conclusion, but you have got to keep reminding, going back, not overlooking things, unquote. So if we take ethical writing or writing a thesis or telling the story of the thesis in that particular style or in that particular attitude, then thesis writing is not a strenuous thing, but it becomes highly enjoyable. Now let me discuss some of the important aspects pertaining to publication ethics, especially misconduct in publication procedures, issues involved in open access journals, quality journal finders, in-text journals and databases, what all these things are. So I would like to make familiarize you with all these concepts or these terminologies. That's what I would like to do in the next few slides. Salami slicing is an important aspect while dealing with publication ethics. So it involves splitting of data derived from a single research process into multiple smaller bits or publishable units or slices. That is, after writing one paper or collecting a few ideas, the research wants to publish it or make it into pieces and pieces and then publish it in a variety of journals or in a variety of texts. So salami slicing is a term that appears in military parlance. So it's a strategy of divide and conquer process to acquire new territories. So that is unethical. Moving on to the standard setting initiatives in publication. So today there are a lot of initiatives to see how we can do ethical publishing. So there is the Committee on Publication Ethics, which is called COPE. Then the Directory of Open Access Journals. Then the Open Access Scholarly Publishers Association. Then the World Association of Medical Editors, WAME. Then, so all these are the scholarly or standard setting organizations in publication. Then what is conflict of interest? That is, if we send a research paper to some reputed journal, they will be asking, the editorial team may be asking us a question, do you have any conflict of interest? So what is conflict of interest? So conflict of interest stands for that, where anything that interferes with reasonably be perceived as interfering with the full and objective presentation, commissioning, peer review, editorial decision making or publication. So circumstance in which professional judgments or actions regarding a primary interest may be at risk of being influenced by a secondary interest. So when it happens, so when there is a secondary interest that gets predominant over the primary interest, it's a case of conflict of interest. So that should be avoided. And predatory journals. What are predatory journals? They are pseudo journals or fraudulent, deceptive journals. So publications or journals that claim to be highly legitimate, qualitative, but misrepresent their publishing practices. That is, if we look up on the cover or the other aspects of these journals, the layout, etc. of these journals, they may look like high-end journals, but in fact, they do not have any ethical principles or procedures while they do publishing. They are predatory journals. Then open access publishing. OA journals or open access publishing journals have more visibility, but most of them are predatory publishers. Or predatory publishers, I would like to say, take advantage of open access journals. They charge fee from the authors but fail to do review, editorial or proofreading, etc. But there are initiatives to check these practices. So Sherpa Romeo is a service run by Sherpa to show the copyright and open access self-servicing policies of academic journals. Romeo is an acronym for Rights Metadata for Open Archiving. So securing a hybrid environment for research preservation and access is what the term Sherpa stands for. It's an endeavor to support the establishment of a number of open access institutional repositories. The role of SPPU in identifying a predatory journal. Now, this is significant in the context of India, that's in our own context. So Savitri Phule Pune University, SPPU, appointed a committee to study the issues relating to predatory journals, and in June 2021 they have developed a software to identify predatory publications. Then journal finder tools. Journal or author name estimator, JANE. It's a free online bibliographic journal selection tool. So JANE's indexing criteria include journals from PubMed, Medline indexed journals, then elsewhere journal finder, we all know, It's a freely available online service that helps to find journals that could be best suited for publishing science papers especially. And Elsewhere is a leading publisher of some of the most reputed science journals in the world. Springer Journal Suggester, again of high reputation. It helps to find a list of journals most suited for researching and publishing papers. So it stands for a leading collection of papers in multidisciplinary research. Then moving on to the plagiarism checking tools, Turnitin, a plagiarism detection service. It's run by the American company Turnitin. Then Urkund, it's a completely automated system against plagiarism. So it's almost available in every university in India and in Kerala University also for our research practices. We do make the help of Urkund. So it is chosen by MHRD, UGC in FlipNet, etc. Then databases and research matrices in the context of publication. So what's a database? A database is a searchable collection of information. So in a research database, one can find thousands of articles published in different journals. Research matrices are used to quantify the impact of scholarly research. Then databases shows the indexation of a journal where it is considered to be a reflection of the quality of the journal. The Web of Science is perhaps the most trusted citation database. Scopus is Elsevier's citation database, launched in 2004 to index only high-impact research journals. Then research matrices, impact factor, of course, we all know. Then SNIP, or Source Normalized Impact per Paper. It's a sophisticated metric that intrinsically accounts for field-specific differences in citation processes. Then SJR, Scimago Journal Rank, is a measure of the impact of journals that accounts for both the number of citations received by a journal and the importance of the journal, where the citations come from Q1. A first quartile journal has an SJR in the top 25% of the journals for at least one of its classified disciplines. Now, impact per publication, or IPP, it is calculated as the number of citations given in the present year to publications in the past 3 years divided by the total number of publications in the past 3 years. So all these are important while we discuss about research matrices. PC matrices, that is publication citation matrices. They are the handy tools for explaining the notions used in citation analysis. So H-index, it's a metric for evaluating the cumulative impact of an author's scholarly output and performance. H-index is a number calculated by counting the number of publications for which an author has at least that same number of times. For example, H-index 10 means that the author has published at least 10 papers that have each been cited at least 10 times. Then the G-index, it gives more weight to highly cited articles, or maybe researchers who stand in the global context. So it is the unique largest number such that the top G articles received at least G raised to 2 citations. A G index of 10 indicates that the top 10 publications of the author has been cited 100 times. Then I-10 index, the author level metrics which helps to measure the efficiency of the author. It's the number of publications with at least 10 citations. This measure is only used by the Google Scholar. If one has 8 papers published and out of which only 5 papers have 10 or more citations, then the I-10 index is 5. Then altmetrics is proposed in 2010. It's a term coined by Jason Prem, a generalization for article level metrics. So it's a non-traditional bibliometrics. It stands for alternative metrics. It helps to monitor the reach and impact of scholarship and research. The alternative part includes academic successes such as citation counts, impact factor, H index, etc. So thank you.